Morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show. Welcome to the new week, by the way. Welcome to the Damage Report. I'm John Idarola, ready to roll into this new week with a full-size pre-show, or maybe an extra-size pre-show. When do we have a 20-minute pre-show? But we're going to today, because we not only have a lot to talk about and our headline story, great reporting by Insider on this Marjorie Greene story. I absolutely love it. And it's by Dave Leventhal, friend of the show. But we also have a secret reveal of a secret project, which I'll close out the show. But I want to get through all the news first, and I want to give people time to log on. Also, I want to give you time to meet Sprocket. Hey, Sprocket. Are you my producer? Are you helping? Are you unpaid canine labor? Anyway, buddy, you got to let me sit down. Okay, so Sprocket's hanging out. Anyway, how's everybody doing? How's everyone's weekend? Phyllis has been a member for 12 months as you rock John from Colored Pencil Artist Dragon. Well, thank you very much, Phyllis. That's very nice of you. I see the Sprockets. Mama Bear, you talking about on Twitter? Oh, Sprocket is cutie. Okay, so if everyone could hit the like button, that would be great. It looks like about half of you have. That's unacceptable. Okay, let's just keep it real. Oh, okay, I will definitely take a look once I'm done with this. But let's talk, and let's start off with a bit of a classic beginning to a pre-show before we launch into the more spicy stuff, and that is, you know that we, for more than 2 years now, have been tracking the state of the pandemic, and generally the updates have been kind of negative. Let's keep it real. But I also want to acknowledge when it's even briefly positive, which as of right now, it actually is. If you take a look at the updated numbers, many people don't necessarily know how it's going because we don't talk about it, but cases have continued to go down. It's still a slower drop than it used to be, and we have passed 80 million total U.S. COVID cases, but 27,000 on average a day, certainly better than the hundreds of thousands that we were getting not too many months ago. Deaths have actually been falling pretty quickly in the last 2 weeks. 650 is still obviously unacceptable, but it's a lot better than it was. You can see for stretching a couple of months right here. Hospitalizations are also down to like the lowest level that they've been at for about 2 years. Now, the devastating part is that, look, fully vaccinated, we're at 2/3. It's been available for well over a year at this point. One dose is 77. I guess it's a little bit better than maybe some of us feared at one point in terms of the vaccination. In terms of deaths and hospitalizations, that's good. Now, we might be, hey Janet, we might be on the cusp of an upswing thanks to BA2 and all that, but yeah, Martin, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I want to make sure, look, even the damage report, even me, we can't keep up on literally everything. Big things happen, and then inevitably it falls by the wayside because of other big things. I do my best, but I can't do everything. But I want to make sure that we check in on this. This has been the story of the last 2 years, or at least one of the top few stories of the last few years. Hey, Mint Money, how's it going? Thanks for lurking. Good luck with the work. A little bit more data for you. Apparently, a lot of Americans not a big fan of how the hearings for Ketanji Brown Jackson went. Quinnipiac polls show that more than half, 52% of respondents disapproved of how Republican senators handled the process. 27% approved. So 2-to-1 disapproval, approval. Hey, Eddie Sanchez, how's it going? Hey, Gabby. Democratic senators got 42% approval, 32% disapproval. So more positive. Still not amazingly positive, but it is Congress that we're talking about, so that's not so bad. Hey, Sarah Robertson. Hey, David, how's it going? Thank you for being here. So, you know, we'll see if that actually, like, are people going to remember this when it comes to the election? Not necessarily. But we hated the process, weren't a big fan of it, don't like the tactics they were using. Good to see at least that it doesn't seem highly effective. Now, it might well be particularly effective at getting their base fired up. That's kind of the point, I guess. But as a broad play, this is not a thing that looks like it's going to help them in the midterms outside of their base. Now let's turn to, I guess, the big tech news of the day. It's the sort of news that maybe some of you saw and knew, oh, John's going to love that. Well, Twitter shares have soared more than 24% after Elon Musk takes 9% stake in social media company. Obviously, it's a very minority stake, but it's the largest, I think, that any individual has. It costs $2.89 billion, a massive amount of money. That's like more than I think Trump claims he has now. It's 1% of his net worth. He's worth that much. He's worth that much. Now, why is he doing this? I don't know. Look, some might say that he's actually interested in getting more involved. Some might say he believes that it's going to pay off long term. I think it's entirely possible that he would gamble 1% of his net worth just on something to generate some headlines and videos like this, I guess, which is why I'm not going to focus too much on it. But I don't care. Like, is Twitter even profitable? I kind of doubt it. I don't know. Obviously, I'm on it. I have to be. And there are things about Twitter that I enjoy. But if there was a button that destroyed Twitter, would I press it? I would probably starve to death staring at it and thinking about it, is probably how that would go down. Anyway, I'm sure, like, and by the way, he had bought the shares or planned to buy the shares before he put out his, do we need a new platform stuff? So he already knew what he was going to do. Look, that's the thing. I may never be able to convince you that Elon Musk is a massive, cringy a-hole. But I hope that I can at least convince you that you can't trust anything that he says because it never lines up with what he's doing behind the scenes. He is doing things for his own financial interest. He also is a troll and loves playing games and things like that. But fundamentally, it's about his financial interest. And people focus so much on the fun and games that they think that's who he is. Anyway, oh, Sprocket, it's okay, buddy. You've got me. Jared's doing the watch list, which is coming up in 12 minutes, by the way. Okay, I want to talk briefly about this. This is not important. It's bear that in mind. There are all these like right-wing, like, they used to be reply guys for Trump who will post things like this. Raise your sons to be like Kyle Rittenhouse, not Jaden Smith. And that's obviously intentionally racist and ridiculous. Why do they do it? Well, it should be pretty obvious why they do it. This bozo got nearly 3,000 retweets on a purposefully incendiary racist tweet. Do you believe that he could have gotten that tweet if he'd just said something serious that was true to his values and not intended to play into people's xenophobia and negative emotions and all that? Do you think? No, couldn't, obviously. That's why they do it. Now, he's not as successful as someone like Charlie Kirk or Candace Owens. That's why these people are popular, because they've delivered on this. But then there's stuff like think about the life that you've built for yourself in doing that. Because he also tweeted just yesterday, top male actors in the U.S. today, Randy Quaid, Tom Selleck, Dean Cain, James Woods, Scott Baio, Kevin Sorbo, Dennis Quaid. What is this? Well, you already know what it is. That is not a list of the top male actors. And that, I don't mean like objectively. I mean, that is not a list of his favorite actors even. That is just, oh, these are conservative actors. And so he lists them. But again, not because he likes them. He thought it would be popular to simply claim an insane thing. And again, not nearly as much as the racist stuff, because racism motivates them much more than their in-group ideological loyalty. He only got 186 retweets on that. But they are forced to say things they don't believe that are insane and purposefully incendiary to get people to like them. It's just, maybe I would press the button. Is this the world that we want? Speaking of the world, this is the world we have. Corporate profits hit a new record high in 2021. So, like, you know how, like, it's been a difficult period? Like, it was difficult? It's still difficult for us. For them, that line always goes up. But don't tax them or anything. Don't tax them. By the way, fresh off of the people we should keep track of, that's fascinating. Fresh off of Amazon's successful unionization in Staten Island, members of the Congressional Oversight Committee, including Cori Bush and AOC, have sent a letter to Adam Jassy, the CEO of Amazon, requesting a number of different documents having to do with the disasters that have hit Amazon facilities. They're doing an investigation of whether workers are being, like, as a matter of policy, forced to work in difficult, like, really dangerous, risky conditions in terms of natural disasters. So you can find them, the full letter is posted online if you want to see it. They cite a couple of these individual disasters. There's things that we've covered on the show before. Good to see that the Congressional Oversight Committee is doing oversight, especially of these massive companies. Hit him from multiple angles. That's what I say. Anyway, 1,600 of you are here. 562 of you have hit the like button. That's not bad. I think we could get that up to the 800, 900 range. I believe in you, damn it. How do they make record profits when they're getting squeezed by costs and have to raise prices? You raise prices more than you need to. That's what they're doing. Do you think the DOJ will end up indicting Trump after the new info that came out about expanding the investigation? I'm not going to invest my soul. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to invest my soul into it. It could happen. And when there are developments in the story, we cover them. We try to keep you updated. But I am trying to not be that naive. I don't mean as I mean as I have been. Carolyn says, dude, stop begging for likes. It's unbecoming. I'm unbecoming. I'm unbecame. What do you want out of me? It's necessary for, there are many people who are probably watching this that have signed up for notifications and didn't get them. We got to fight back against that. Anyway, I'm going to hold off on this. We might be able to fit this onto the show tomorrow. Dan Evans is going to be joining me tomorrow. We've got Bread on Wednesday, very exciting. Wozni, and I got to check Fridays. I'm not sure who's doing garbage with me. But we also have a top 10 list we're going to be doing later on today. Francesca Fiorentini and I breaking down the top 10 fast food franchises. There you go. They're fake likes. No, I think real people just did them. By the way, we cruised past 800. I was right. Anyway, let's get to the headline story. You all clicked for Dave Leventhal. You know him. You love him. He's been on our show 50 times. I don't know. What he does is he focuses on not what politicians say, but where they put their money more than their mouth, I guess. And Marjorie Greene was identified like a month ago as having been, she was doing all this talk about people making money off of war, and that's what Congress is interested in, when she had invested in Lockheed and Raytheon. Oops. Well, she's criticizing Walt Disney a lot. Did you know that they're pro-sexual predator? Did you know that they're grooming people? Did you know that Disney wants to make a new generation of gay Americans? Where do you think this story is going? Where do you think? Hey, Red Cell, welcome to Tier 1 membership. Oh, yeah, no, Dave Leventhal follows the money. Insiders does a great job with that, and we've had him on many times to talk about it. So she's criticizing Disney as being pro-child sex predation. Yeah, no, she owns stock in Walt Disney, and not just a little, up to $45,000. If you have more than $45,000 in investments in stocks, just raise your hand in the chat, because the vast majority of people don't. By the way, she had owned entering last year $1,000 to $15,000, which was already quite a bit. But then she added a bunch more repeatedly, including, by the way, August and November of last year. That is a lot of money. She is, and by the way, it hasn't even been doing all that well as a stock. I've been following it during all these stories, and I'm not sure that it's related to that, but fascinating stuff that she's doing all this criticism while potentially making some money. Now, will she dump it? Maybe, especially now following this. That would be a wise thing. But this is the thing. I do believe that she's a true believer on a lot of these issues. However, she reveals where her heart really is. It's kind of like the Elon Musk thing. Well, I'm seeing a few hands. No. If you've been able to invest, don't be ashamed of it. It's just really difficult. People are squeezed. But if you've been able to, that's a good thing. Anyway, yeah. So always follow the money. It tells you so much more about what a person actually thinks, what they're actually planning. Anyway, let's keep the likes going. Let's get to 1,000. Does anyone raise your hand if you were around for when we'd get to 1,000 likes, it would crash the stream? That was pre-pandemic. Fun times. Okay, we're gonna check in one more time. That question jumped off my hands. Oh, little Sprocket. Sprocket's a feisty guy. He's a very good dog, but he's a feisty guy. No, he wants to jump up. No, I gotta work, buddy. We got one more thing to talk about. Sonic is oh my God, I would have forgotten about Sonic. Let me write that down to the top 10 list. Okay, so We got a few more minutes. Watch list is going to be coming up, twitch.tv/TYT, youtube.com/watchlistTYT. But I do have one thing to talk about. Now, I'm only going to talk about this for like a couple of minutes. I'll be doing an Instagram live later on. So if you want to go to instagram.com/JohnIdarola, this is where you can learn more about this. I'm generally not going to go very in-depth in this on TYT because what I'm going to be talking about is totally separate from it, as will become very clear. But you may know I occasionally mention that I do writing on the side. I wrote another novel, I write short stories and things like that, and there's been a lot of interest for some time in getting access to some of that writing. Well, I decided to create a community, a place where we can actually do that, both for my content, but also to discuss awesome stories. And so if you would like to find out about this new project that I am calling Peanut Butter Storytime, it is a place for consuming and discussing awesome stories in whatever form they come in. Whether it's literature, movies, TV shows, video games have some amazing stories these days. If you go to patreon.com/JohnIdarola, the details are up. I'm gonna have a video later on today, both the live stream, and I'll put up a video explaining the name. But also what'll be going on, you can see on the tier list. I wanna make very clear though, if it's not already immediately clear, this has nothing to do with TYT, nothing to do with TDR, and it also is no crossover in terms of material. I am not doing anything about politics or news, other than news maybe about upcoming Marvel movies or something. So it is not covering over anything that I'm doing here. So anyway, patreon.com/JohnIdarola if you want some more details, and I'll be doing an Instagram live. Sorry, Kenny, if you don't do Instagram. I totally understand it, by the way. It's not a bad policy. But so totally optional. You do not need to be a part of it. It is not like an official TDR, official Dragons, nothing. Totally separate, totally optional and all that. But we're gonna have a lot of fun. Because not only am I gonna be doing writing, we're gonna have a Discord where we can like discuss stories and do live view-alongs and everything. But my writing group and I are gonna be doing a monthly podcast where we break down an awesome story, probably generally a movie, and mine from it interesting things that can help us sharpen our appreciation of stories, but also to improve our writing on the writing group, including mine. And later on today, I'm going to be posting the first short story to all of the backers at whatever tier. It's a post-apocalyptic story. It's pretty horrific, a little bit of Cthulhu vibes. I had a lot of fun with it, and I've got a lot more planned. So anyway, patreon.com/JohnIdarola, and I'll be doing more information mainly on like Instagram and Twitter. But anyway, the watch list is coming up, so you should definitely go to twitch.tv/TYT or youtube.com/watchlistTYT. And in 1 hour, I'll be going live with Francesca Fiorentini. We've got an awesome story, some devastating stuff out of Ukraine. I did watch Moon Knight, might be posting about it soon on there. But anyway, go support JR, give him a shout out, tell him the Dragon Squad sent you. Thank you everybody for liking the video, and I will talk to you soon.